Hey y'all, there's one have a crowd. Alright, so got some lighting equipment that I'm taking off for string cheese incident. Doing a little Northwest Idaho tour, and I'm headed out to Bend to turn this down. Hang on. Anyway, and not to Bend. Take this equipment because their tour starts tomorrow. And yeah, so what's happening? Portland, kind of an active time of year. To begin with, my buddy Headboggle, and I got some footage that my buddy Headboggle came through town with Mall Occlusion and played some ripping sets, noise music for the Portland people. One of them was at Fixin' Tube in North Portland, and the other was at a pretty cool place called Church, spelled with an X instead of a C. And I think you can go to their website, so look that up, XHURCH. We've got Sanctum and James in the background here. A very killer lo-fi house song. Anyway, back to the Headboggle and Mall Collusion. I was sort of a little spun out, anxiety attack on their first show Friday, which was at Church, which looked like the really cool event. A pretty hip Portland underground thing. And thankfully they streamed it, so I was able to watch it on my phone. Headboggle is killing it these days. Like, it's noise music. I mean, he would take me to these things a long time ago, and I enjoyed them. I really did, because I'm an explorer of music. But I didn't think it was anything I was gonna throw on the stereo in my spare time. I like beats, I like hooks, I like lyrics, and noise music. I just had none of that. And though I saw some really crazy creative stuff back in the day, shout out, a Wooden Octopus Skull Festival in Seattle. Shout out Sixes. Oh man, there's this other dude I really liked. Kind of ask him. Guy flooded the. Shout out Wendy and Carl. Shout out Spectrum here. Experimental Audio Research. Shout out Azusa Plane. Rest in peace. Shout out Ptolemaic Terrascope, Terrastock, Aquarius Records, and Headboggle. Faux show. My dog. Anyway, I used to say that society would have to undergo a drastic change for noise music to become popular or start to make sense, and lo and behold, it did. So here we are. And at any rate, Headboggle is doing some really cool stuff. That's all I gotta say. There's hooks in there. It's just cool, and it is making sense. And it's moving the same way rock and roll is. And these guys coming out of the Bay. I mean, the Bay's always on the cutting edge. Portland, pretty cutting edge too. Schmegma, shout out Schmegma. Pierced Arrows. Let's go all the way back. Take it all the way back to class of '66. The Weeds. Dead Moon, rest in peace. That's Portland. Anyway, I'm driving through Estacada right now. Gonna go up the mountain. And there's that dude. I've been ready for loving. Anyway, back to Headboggle. And his buddy, this guy, Malakoljan. I do not want to discount his style either. Very, very cool stuff. They're different. They're label mates. Headboggle and Malakoljan. They're different styles. Both very cool. Headboggle to me is there's humor and hooks and hilarity. I'd almost say like what Nirvana is to grunge. Headbog is I mean that's a dumb comparison, but what I'm trying to say is grunge, you've got Alice in Chains and drop D tunings and really sludgy and dark, and you've got Soundgarden and there's metal elements there, and a lot of metal pumping through them, and then along comes Nirvana, who have a lot of that, but he's basically doing Beatles hooks or pop hooks, and that is what blew up. And that'd be really cool if Headbog finds some success. He's incredibly creative individual, just like across the board. Also really funny, a sweetheart, and wicked smart guy, making wicked smart music. He knows his stuff. Malakoljan I don't know as well, but his style very cool too. And they're out on Rat Skin Records. Check the Rat Skin record. I might have just driven through a red light. I hope I didn't. Anyway, leaving Estacada or whatever that was. Sandy, Estacada. Yeah, that's Sandy. Been prepping, been out at Pendarvis Farm for Pickathon. The vibe is back, I'll tell you that much. The vibe is back. And it was good to see Guildworks out there. Guildworks put up a small canopy. Maybe they're doing a couple of, but I saw a small Guildwork. Rest in peace to that stage crew, the production crew guys and I know, it's not. Lawsuits went around and things like that, and I think most everything's settled, and I think most everybody, I know everybody inside, all the human beings are heartbroken over that. And this is all I'm going to say is it was great to see Guildworks back out there. They're putting up a small canopy, not the big one that had been done that made Pickathon so cool, but a small canopy. And rest in peace to those guys. It was just a really tragedy, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. I want to honor them every time Pickathon comes around, because there's a couple of stage production guys who gave everything to it, and I don't want them to be forgotten. But listen to this stuff. This guy's out of this drum and bass dude, minimalist, out of Croatia maybe. Great stuff. Listen to this. Listen to the sample. Good, double good, right here. Coming to Mount Hood. Alright. That's Minimalist. European drum and bass producer. Badass. So yeah, Pickathon, the vibe is back. It's gonna be cool. Bands this year: Dead, DEHD, great band. Lee Fields is gonna march all over the place. Mike Dillon's Punkadelic, and I'm like, is that the dude from Primus? I don't know. I listened to some of that. It's like punk jazz, psychedelic punk jazz. Very cool, very interesting what he's doing. The Sinceres, a lot of good stuff out there. Pickathon vibe is back. It feels good on the farm. Could be the last year at Pendarvis because that the town of Oregon City is totally grown up around it. I object. Hey, wait, I've got a new complaint that housing development sucks. But in another weird way, Pendarvis Farm is now truly a grounds of resistance, because the town has grown up around it and they have not sold out, or at least all of it. So there's this little oasis of beauty in a forest, and that now is under siege by the idiot developers in Happy Valley. Now I'm heading out 26 east towards Mount Hood, and it's beautiful out here. I'm loving it. So yeah, Pendarvis vibe is back. The vibe is back. Pickathon next week. What else? Anything else coming up? Oh, we got PDX Live. That kicks off August 8th or 9th. Some good stuff there. Explosions in the Sky. Flaming Lips. There's Mount Hood. Flaming Lips doing Yoshimi. That'll be killer. So that's all coming up here in Portland. Portland's vibing. Vibe City. I missed all of Dead & Co. this summer, even though I was in the neighborhood, of wherever they were at a couple times. And so, I don't know, it seemed like Mayor was ripping it up and they're calling it a day, and that was the last chance to experience Megadeth. And I guess, whatever. John Mayer, I can give or take. He did a great job, I'll say that much. He did his duty, gave the world his booty. No, he stepped up, he learned the songs, he brought an element to it, he had the star power to slide in there. Your Kimmock, I love Kimmock, but he's not going to take him up into the stadiums. I mean, maybe he could now. Maybe Mayor left the door open for a more unknown person to really step up. I love Kimmock. Yeah, he's original. If you can hear me because of this air, let me see. Alright, turn that off. Hopefully you heard any of that. Nobody's watching anyway. This is just a diary for myself. Hey, now break a sweat. Break a sweat. Break a sweat. Break. Hey, now break a sweat. Break a sweat. What was I saying? So yeah, Mayor, I guess, leaving it all on the table. It seems like people had a ton of fun. I'm sad I missed it. Seemed pretty great, but at the same time, I don't know how I feel. Because, I'm sad I missed it. Because I want to see Grateful Dead music played at that level. That massive level. I just think that's cool. And it was Mayor that brought it there, that was able to kick it up to that notch and bring in all these new kids. So maybe they can do something where there's a transfer of power. If the mayor doesn't want it, he can leave it. Somebody else can, I don't know who. Somebody who can slay the guitar. Preferably Bobby endorsed. That's all I'll say about that. And then Fish is raging the East Coast right now, not coming out west here. So I'm not really paying attention to that. They were here in the fall and it was great. I don't know if I posted. I took some video footage of it. Probably didn't post it. I've been so lazy and like doing too many drugs. Don't do them, kids. Seriously. Drugs are dangerous. Don't smoke weed until you're 25. Don't mess with blues or your whole life will be blue. I see it every day on the blue line when I go to work. A train line out of where I live into the city. Coming back at night, man. It's a shooting gallery. Well, rather a smoking gallery, and I hate the way that stuff smells. And these poor souls, I'm not, I don't ascribe some sort of moral judgment to people who do drugs. Drugs are drugs. What's so great about life that like going through life whacked out of your mind isn't a reasonable option? And and that's kind of true. Like, what do? We work until we're tired and then, go to sleep and pay a bunch of bills, and it's not that great. There's moments of amazingness sprinkled. But being thwacked out on dope, it just does not look fun at all. And there's a whole community out there now of people whose lives revolve around these things called blues, which are like fentanyl pills. And there's a whole underground, in a weird way, it reminds me of the Deadhead scene back in the early 90s, like, camping, and there's an underground economy, and I'm gonna turn this down. I don't even know, like, it's a little more minimalist. Yeah, so there's a whole world out there, and it doesn't look all that thrilling or better than like living like. And the kid is back. I'm back in a New York groove. Anyway, I'm probably gonna get booted.